Interesting. Broken dice are worth 1. Stress tolerance that is disabled. Internet difficulty for recipe to be challenged. Broken dice can't be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. Experienced players who want an unforgiving challenge with no second chances. Dice repairs require more components. Very low stress tolerance. Double energy depletion. I'll go with risky for now. With medium. For now. Because at the end of the day, I want to, you know, if I'd be playing this off stream, I'd be probably try something different. Okay. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines or local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators are expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice, a risky but potential powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the coal phase of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Extractors have high physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extraction work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. And machinist. Machinist sleepers are built to repair and modify automated system used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skills allows them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Okay, and we have 2, 101 and negative. 02, negative, 11. 1, yeah, okay, so all are balanced. Let's go with the extractor. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. There's your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense, data, all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, brings with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles. Fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent. Even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives. The fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered into your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper. Familiar name, mind occupied, mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted, one person sleeping until their death is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped, you remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators as an ARP in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remembered you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes in a pale face, plain. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, a sharp smirk, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal, floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. Reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough. The vial glitters. This object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you now. After what you have done to this body of yours, looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence. From the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They're free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up! Lane barks the command, and you hear the sound of impact of pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. Feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? He smirks. You're free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. Against your body with angry eyes. Now, you aren't free, you are just broken. That's such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it, but your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling the cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, waves a hand in your dazed face. Need to move. I won't be out long. Loops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. Blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you are in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere. All lit by big windows, looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson bubbles. Is that blood? Move! You are wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. Looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? Wipes sweat from his forehead, that it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Where are we? So we're on the starboard side, not too far from the docks, I hope. See a concerned frown across his face. That's not what you meant, is it? He comes closer, eyeing it carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station, no, a city, graying on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Darkside. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. His eyes. And me, who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps? You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare, nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot, speaking quietly to himself. I interrupted the process and lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going, we need to leave. Turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passages and service ways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle. The rhythms of station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer. The promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you in like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait! Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. You're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Tsubo, Lane guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane? He was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We need to reboot you to break your dependence on stabilizer. Pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete and... He sighs, shakes his head. You can still make this work. Looks back at the docks. Lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? Searches your face for a sign of recognition. Got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads! He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across to the door they were guarding. You look already panicked at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby, you need to get it open. During scenes you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later, skill checks can have a positive, neutral or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on a check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section on the pause menu. Okay, so this is the worst one, this is the better one. Actually, yeah. Break the seal. You shift to the central access panel and branch it open. You scan over the mechanism, looking for a weakness. Somewhere nearby, you hear some more shouting. You reach in and grab the main latch, straining as you bend it outward. The seal releases and you drag the door halfway open. It screeches in its metal frame as you pull. Go, go! Seraphim flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphim. Seraphim is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open, and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit. The ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on, come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphim slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Oh, it's nice. They added a little animation.